Le dernier mandat de Blaine Higgs n'a pas été particulièrement facile. Ça a été marqué par plusieurs controverses, le départ aussi de plusieurs de ses proches collaborateurs. Depuis l'élection de 2020, c'est plus du tiers des députés élus de son parti qui ont soit démissionné, soit ne se représentent pas à ces élections-ci. Ça fait beaucoup pour un chef de parti qui demande aux électeurs de miser sur la continuité. Est-ce qu'il va réussir ce pari? J'en ai discuté avec lui. Blaine Higgs, bonsoir. Merci d'avoir accepté notre invitation.
Bonsoir, Karin.
Vous réclamez un autre mandat. Qu'est-ce que vous souhaitez exactement effectuer avec un autre mandat? Quels sont les éléments que vous aimeriez accélérer?
I want to continue building the province. We've had changes in our province now that we haven't seen for generations. With a population explosion, about 90,000 new people, building schools where before we were consolidating or closing schools, housing market that is going through the roof literally, and all from a demand and a new interest in the province. Financially, we're under control. We've had 6 balanced budgets, and I still want to build the foundation that's going to last for generations. We have big challenges. I mentioned housing, but in the healthcare field, not unlike other provinces, but we need to have an innovation in that regard. And so I just don't want to see it all change and abruptly reverse directions like we've seen with changing governments in the past, because no matter where I go in the province, people recognize that our province is doing something better and doing something differently now.
Vous parlez de l'augmentation de la population. Est-ce que ça va trop rapidement selon vous?
Yes, about 90,000 new people here, and from all walks of life, really, from moving from other parts of the country to moving to other parts of the world.
Est-ce que ça va trop rapidement pour la capacité du Nouveau-Brunswick?
Yes, it is. It's not, our housing isn't keeping up. That's true. We're kind of maxed out on what we can build for new houses. And that's why, the issue here a while back on the asylum seekers, that's why I reacted to that, was we're finding that there's a big challenge in Ontario and in Quebec. And we had seen over the last while about a 3-fold increase. And the question was, are they really asylum seekers? Because we want to be sure that we are meeting the needs of people that are in trauma around the world that just can't find safety.
Mais ça, c'est les demandeurs d'asile. C'est un dossier. Ce qu'on voit dans l'augmentation de la population au Nouveau-Brunswick, ce sont les immigrants, c'est l'immigration interprovinciale. C'est 2 dossiers. Donc, pour cette partie-là de l'immigration, est-ce que ça va trop vite?
They are 2 different files, and the one process there was we were going to be getting 4,600, so we said we want to make sure that's legitimate. But to your point on direct immigration, we wouldn't be where we are today without the immigration files and the new immigrants that have come here with new ideas, innovation, and bringing thoughts to the province and new businesses they're starting up. It is added a vibrancy to our province. There's no question about that. But can we get a balance? And we have asked for that. In the last federal meeting I had with my colleagues, we actually wrote a letter. The communique was based on getting a handle on the immigration rate, because every province was concerned that we're not matching up our housing capabilities with the new immigrants coming here. And then also making sure that we can have jobs and places for people to live. It's an obligation. When we bring people here, we want them to stay. And they're not going to stay if we're not able to meet the requirements for them to live here.
Pendant cette campagne, c'est une campagne à une grosse promesse, la baisse de la TVH de 2 Ce qu'on vous entend surtout faire depuis les différentes annonces, c'est d'attaquer les libéraux. On le voit dans vos publicités aussi. Pourquoi cette stratégie-là de ne pas annoncer énormément de choses, mais de s'en prendre à votre parti rival?
Well, isn't it interesting? It's a strategy where we are actually investing in the province, record amounts. If one look back at our history over the last 5 years, I doubt there's a government at any point in time, even with today's dollars, that would be even close. $1 billion more in healthcare, as an example. And if someone said to me that I can fix healthcare for $350 million more, I'd write a check tomorrow. But that isn't the case. Now we're focused on innovation in our healthcare system, and we're looking at the cost of living here. I want to make the cost of living one of the cheapest in the country. And so we're saying we can make life more affordable. We can reduce taxes. We haven't raised taxes on individuals since we came here. We reduced income taxes. We reduced the property taxes on the double tax scenario that back when we started. So I want people to realize that government can do better with the money that we have. And we have more money in the system now because of all of the new people and the spending. But the challenge that I think I would ask everyone, does anyone believe that government can spend money better than individuals? Because I don't. And I think the opportunity there is very clear that we can be different with what we spend.
Vous parlez de la santé. On vous a entendu dire que vous vouliez amener le sens des affaires en santé. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire exactement, ça?
I do. So it's using new technology. It's basically understanding our entire network and looking at how we connect our capabilities. So in other words, we've invested money this year, $10 million, just to understand what an information management system would look like. And what that is both looking at both Vitality and Horizon and say, how can we deliver the best healthcare working together in our system? So we have two systems that we're very proud of. But then how do we work together to deliver healthcare? And here's an example, like patient-first strategy, where you'd say to a patient, okay, you maybe can't get an MRI here or some other community in the province for maybe a year, maybe 6 months, but you can get that MRI down the road 2 hours in another hospital. Give patients an opportunity to say, oh, yeah, can I do that? That would be great.
Mais est-ce que l'homme d'affaires en vous, vous voyez une efficacité à avoir seulement un système de santé au Nouveau-Brunswick? Est-ce que l'homme d'affaires en vous, vous dites, ça serait une bonne idée, ça?
No, we don't need to combine health authorities. That's not the goal at all. The goal is to have them work together and collaborate in their healthcare practices and to look at where we can actually work with each other to deliver better service.
Est-ce qu'ils font bien présentement?
No. No, they don't work well together. But we see it here in a community like Moncton where the two hospitals are about 50-50 Francophone and Anglophone in the other hospital. Because patients want the service in both official languages, and it doesn't matter whether it's a French hospital or an English hospital. It isn't a concern to the patient. They just want better service. So all I'm suggesting is let's look at our entire system, and let's find out how we deliver better health care by working together in doing that. In the areas like buying practices, volume purchases, you know, things that lab services, things that you can say, wow, we can really ramp up our capability. We can ramp up not only in our cost of deliver service, but in our technology, what we can afford to enhance our technology and capabilities to deliver right in our province.
J'aimerais vous parler de vous aussi. Vous avez un des taux de popularité les plus bas au pays. Pourquoi, selon vous?
Yeah, you know, I see that as well, and I know there's certain segments of the province. I've maintained a pretty low popularity record, and I'm hoping we're going to change that in this election. I go to the quality of candidates we have running. So when we speak about that right through the north, I mean, we have mayors, we have councillors, we have business leaders, we have teachers. It is really quite impressive to see that. And that will make a difference, having people that are coming forward in this election that are saying, you know what, the province is doing well. Let's not see it go backwards. Let's not see it go back in what we talk about so often, going back into the red, because the red is a financial place as well.
Vous faites référence au nord du Nouveau-Brunswick, bien sûr, mais qu'est-ce que vous avez fait pour rebâtir ces liens qui ont été effrités avec les Acadiens? Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait concrètement?
Well, what we have done, what I would say, it's what an interesting question that many people would say, well, oh, I don't know if I like this government or not, or me personally or not. But I would say, okay, so what is the reason? And 9 times out of 10, there isn't a reason given. I mean, in our infrastructure spending as a province, 42% of it has gone into Francophone regions. And when people say, really? On the nursing home file, we spend $200 million on nursing home constructions in the Francophone regions. I could talk about community colleges, schools investment. We have put money in communities across this province. And people cannot say that I have not diligently made sure that we've addressed the needs, not all the needs, not all the needs anywhere, but the needs of people throughout the province. Because I am the premier for the whole province.
Parce que tout de suite, vous êtes chef progressiste-conservateur. Vous avez parlé d'une perception qui était fausse des Acadiens envers vous. Mais est-ce que vous vous êtes intéressé à la culture acadienne? Votre artiste acadien préféré, ce
Absolutely.
serait qui?
In fact, you know, you probably could say that in a lot of cases of how do we enhance the culture? How do we bring it so we're more aware? And I'd like to go for that part of it, you know, where we are in their school system. What I've said all along, and I've said this before, and Karin and I probably said it in an interview in our past, about my oldest daughter, who graduated in French immersion. But when she traveled with me on the bus in the first election, she said, Dad, I didn't learn anything about the Acadian culture. I didn't learn anything about what we have in our province. And she was in French immersion for 6-8 years and was fluently bilingual. And she said, we don't teach any of that in our schools. So how do we ever expect to become fluent as a bilingual province, respecting and and in, participating in the richness of the Canadian culture if our schools never touch it.
Vous êtes premier ministre, vous avez été premier ministre depuis 2018, donc je vous repose la question, votre artiste acadien préféré, ce serait qui?
I don't know that I have, you know, I could probably say that in English or Francophone. If I have any particular artist that I would favor over another, because I would.
Près d'un tiers, plus d'un tiers des candidats élus en 2020 ont soit démissionné ou soit ne se représentent pas lors de ces élections ici. Ils vous ont dépeint comme quelqu'un de contrôlant, avec qui c'est difficile de travailler, qui n'écoute pas, qui met ses intérêts avant tout. Quelle part de responsabilité vous prenez là-dedans?
Well, you know what started all of that was related to the parents' discussion and parents playing the key role in raising their young children. That's what brought all of that to a head. We had 85% of our caucus that were totally acceptable and wanted this to move forward. And we're finding it's the percentage of people across the province, whether it be in Francophone New Brunswick or Anglophone New Brunswick, say, yeah, parents should be the major voice in raising their young children. And they want to know. And so now we find out how do we make that happen. So that caused some angst in my own team. We had 4 or so or 5 that were going to retire or plan to leave in any case, and then the others that you know thought that policy was not something they could support. So it did cause some problems. But you know what? To replace those individuals, we've had major candidates step forward and be part of this election.
Mais qu'est-ce que vous répondez aux progressistes qui ne se reconnaissent plus dans votre parti? Est-ce que vous êtes un progressiste?
Well, you know, yes, we are very progressive in the sense of we're looking at the foundations of what makes our country strong. And when someone said to me at one point, said about, well, you know, maybe the party is moving in one direction too far or not. And I said, when did parents becoming a major player in their children's lives, the young children's lives, and wanting to be involved, become an issue? When did that happen? Because I think we got to realize how far have we gone on one direction when we want to say, is there a balance here? And I am a big supporter of the family unit, the family foundation, and families are very different today. I want to make that point. Families and parents are very different and could be made up very differently than they were in the past. And that is fine. There's no issue there. We're all, in that case, we're all parents of one kind or another. And that's my point, is that we have to address some of the fundamental issues. The school programs, you know, some of the things that we're saying, how do we get back to basics in many ways and what schools should teach? And I want teachers to tell us. Be a voice that listens to parents. And then if there are cases where parents, you know, need help, that's why we have a social system to help those parents to help their kids.
Blaine Higgs, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, Karin.